I need to get myself together. Hold on, y'all. Had another bowl somewhere now. I can't find. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? And welcome to DDTS, y'all, episode 557. I'm back with another video. Hope y'all are doing well. People's want to message me when I got a show going on. Um, can anybody hear me? I don't know who's in here, but if can y'all let me know if y'all can hear me or not? Had to have me a hot cup of coffee. So, yes, indeed. Hold on one second. One second. One second, y'all. One second. One second. One second, y'all. One second, y'all. All right, I'm back. I'm back, y'all. So today, but first and foremost, hit that like button, subscribe button, and the notification bell so you will get notified when I have new content available. And we're gonna talk about the McDonald's worker that I have up here. DDTS, the McDonald's worker versus the manager. That's the title that I gave. The McDonald's worker versus the manager. I'm gonna put this down here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to elaborate on that as well. I'm so sorry. First and fo- First and foremost, I am so sorry that I am late. I had started my live at like 4 o'clock, but had so much going on, so much racket, I couldn't even, function. And I didn't want y'all to get distracted, and I didn't want to get distracted by that. So I decided to move it on to 9:05. But uh I was cooking dinner, and I just got done cooking dinner for the night. So I had to come on here and do my DDTS episode. So, what are we going to talk about tonight? And I just want to apologize. Thank y'all for just being here with me. So, tonight, what we're going to talk about on this live and on this episode of DDTS Live Edition, we're going to be talking about the McDonald's worker versus the manager. As you may know, news broke about Jennifer Harris, the McDonald manager, being unalived by her um, employee. Um, I forgot her name. I think her name was Ademi Badu Muhammad, who was 26 years old, and Amani Badu Muhammad, I can't pronounce her name, but I'm gonna say Amani Badu Muhammad. She made a video detailing everything. Basically, allegedly, before she went ahead and did what she did. I believe she made that video before she went home and got what she was going to get, and she came back to work to unalive her manager. Now, it is alleged, and these sources do say that the manager, Jennifer Harris, who was the mother of six kids, it is said allegedly that Jennifer Harris, the mama of six kids, and the manager of McDonald's, which she worked for 15 years, Amani Badu Muhammad, the employee that did the unliving, detailed allegedly that Jennifer Harris, the manager, was bullying her. And basically, Amani Badu Muhammad, she made a video detailing that you cannot talk to people in a type of way, and that um, her manager, her boss, Jennifer Harris, has been sending her home early every day, sending her home early, for which she don't understand why she was sent home early. So basically, Amani Badu Muhammad made a post detailing that, she's tired of the disrespect, and that you can't talk to people's any type of way, which that's understandable. No, you can't talk to people's any type of way. And plus, it is said allegedly that she was bullied by Jennifer Harris. And plus, it is said allegedly that she had a rough childhood, and that she was with this guy, or staying with this guy, or she was involved with a guy or a person that kept trying to do things with her and do things to her. I don't know, was it a relationship wise type of thing, or this or that, the third? I really don't know. But basically, she kept telling the person to leave her alone. Now, this is alleged. I might not have it in order, but you can look it up if you don't believe me, or I can look it up. But I'm not going to make you any promises that my face will be on the camera, but you will see, but you will hear my voice. And I've been doing my research on that. So my thought about this is that she basically allegedly, so even if this manager of hers, Jennifer Harris, was bullying Amani Badu Muhammad, I really feel if the manager was bullying her, she should have never been bullying, because bullying is a real issue in this society, especially today's. When bullying goes on, that can lead to so much problems. You have people's unaliving themselves because of bullying, and you have people's go out here doing stuff to the peoples that has bullied them. I better yet, going out here doing things to other peoples because they have been bullied, and they don't know how to resolve the problem or the issue with them being bullied. That's basically me, how I see it, you know? And I really feel like it's a sad and bad, you know, situation. So after, this is me, this is my opinion. So I'm figuring after Amani Badu Muhammad made that video about Jennifer Harris saying that she sends her home early every day because of even, you know, what she's got on, what type of outfit she got on, or this and that and the third, basically just bullying her. So I feel like this. After she made that video, Amani Badu Muhammad went home, got a sharp object, returned to work, and her and Jennifer Harris, the McDonald manager, the mother of six kids, and who has been working at McDonald's for 15 years. Basically, they was into it. So what happened? Amani, Amani Badu Muhammad, she took the sharp object from her head or something, and she started stabbing the um manager. That's what I'm thinking. Hold on, y'all. So I believe she started stabbing the manager. This is why I'm. But yeah, so basically what she did, she took the sharp object and she started unaliving the manager Jennifer Harris. I'm sorry about that, y'all. And I think it's a very sad situation. It is. It's a very sad situation. Like we never know what to expect when when you are going through that. Number one, how I feel about the whole situation, I really feel, hold on, y'all. Here's this. Vegan Kings, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the live. How you doing? Um, yeah, that's how I really feel about the situation. I feel like she should have never done what she. That's how I feel about it, honestly. Number one, if this is true, which that's it's the same story I've been hearing. Number one, Jennifer Harris had no reason to be bullying anybody. You're not supposed to bully um your employees. Plus, bullying is not good anyway. That's good. I'm glad you're doing good. Welcome to the live. I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, bullying, that's not good anyway to be doing. If Jennifer Harris was bullying that girl, she should have never been bullying her in the first place, you know. But I really feel that I feel that Muhammad Badu, Amani Badu Muhammad, I really feel like she reached her breaking point. She got tired of being bullied. She got tired of going through what she was going through. So what she does, she basically took matters into her own hands. And I know it's a lot of people that's probably going to say, she's wrong, she's wrong, she's wrong for what she did. Yes, she was wrong for unaliving her manager, but at the same time, it's two sides to a story. but people don't want to acknowledge that. Like, do we really know the reason why this employee unalived her manager? Far as we know, in the video, she said that she was tired of. Basically, she was tired of her manager bullying her. And plus, she said that she had a rough childhood and that she was involved with someone, but yet she was staying with someone, which I think it was her roommate. And pretty much it's like they wouldn't leave her alone. So, pretty much, I really don't know what to say about that. But what I will say is a sad situation. You know, you can't go around bullying people because that is not cool at all. You can't go around bullying people because that is not cool at all. Like, no lie, it is not cool at all to bully people because that is not cool. I'm just gonna put it. I'm just gonna put it in that aspect. It's not cool. So yeah, I really don't know. But let me look up something. I'm gonna look up something real quick, y'all. Just give me 1 second. I'm about to look up something. Okay. I'm looking up something, y'all, so just hold on. Okay. 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 I can tell you I'm looking up something. I'm looking up something else. And it seems like to me that the okay. So what I've gathered and what I have is a worker at the McDonald's in East Point is accused of stabbing and killing her manager after an argument at the restaurant last week. Afeni Badu Muhammad, that's her name, Afeni Badu Muhammad, 26 years old of East Point, was arraigned on the charges of first degree murder, carrying a dangerous weapon with an unlawful intent, and being a habitual offender, second offense. It says it is still more to be covered on this story. And later this month, on July the 23rd, Muhammad is scheduled to return to court for a probable cause conference. So it says the stabbing happened shortly before 8 a.m., 8 o'clock a.m. on Thursday, July the 10th, at the McDonald's at 17921 Mile Road in East Point. But it says that officers was dispatched at the McDonald's location after receiving a report of a stabbing and shot being fired. When they arrived, they discovered that the manager Harris and another employee Muhammad had been involved in an argument and resulted in Harris sending Muhammad home early. And it is said that she gets a knife from the vehicle. So it says Muhammad admitted to detectives that she had intended to unalive Harris. She told authorities that after she was sent home, she drove to a park before deciding to go back to the McDonald's and unalive Harris with a knife that she had inside her vehicle. The knife was allegedly a kitchen knife longer than 3 inches, according to the authorities. And it says that she returns to McDonald's wearing a mask. So it was basically a mask. So when she returned to the McDonald's, she entered through a back entrance with a hooded mask over her face in an attempt to conceal her identity, according to the swear to from East Point Detective Shouts. It says that at Feeney, she stabs the manager 15 times, up to as many as 15 times. She produced a weapon that was a knife longer than 3 inches. She stabbed the victim multiple times, up to a possibly as many as 15 times, eventually causing her death. Assistant prosecutor and during Muhammad's arraignment. And the customer stops employee from fleeing. A customer who was in a drive-through invented and fired a shot to try to stop the attack. The customer that held the suspect at gunpoint until the officers arrived. When she tried to flee, no one was struck by the bullet, according to police. I think this is a lot. So I'm finna go back. I'm finna come back, y'all. I'm basically finna come back. Okay. Hey y'all. Oh Lord. Hey the Solomon Project. How you doing? Welcome to the live. And thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. I apologize for my background, y'all. I apologize for the background. Thank you so much for hitting the like button. Vegan Kings, um, the Solomon Project says hello. And what we gonna do next? That's rage out of control. It really is. That is really out of control, the Solomon Project. Very rage out of control. It's like, wow, we never don't know what to expect. Cause that's a lot of rage. Concealed her identity that could be a charge of premeditated. Yes. I really feel like if they give her a sentence, it's gonna be wild. She might not even see light as day, you know. And nobody can say that it's self-defense because that did not look like self-defense. And the fact that she basically done the stabbing over 15 times basically lets you know that she meant to unalive the manager, Jennifer Harris. This basically means that she meant to unalive the McDonald's manager. It basically tells you so much about the situation, pretty much, you know. And I really feel like this. She could have, if Afeni Badu Muhammad, if she had that type of issue, she could have just called corporate. She came out better just calling corporate, pretty much. You know, she didn't have to resort in doing what she did. Now, I understand bullying is not right, which is not right, but I really felt it could have been handled another way without the unaliveness. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Hook It Up Homestead. Hey, Hook It Up Homestead, how you doing? Welcome to the live. I'm sorry I'm late, but it's plenty options. It's plenty options that she could have done without um unaliving her manager, her boss. Thank you for coming in. Oh, I'm basically I'm talking about this whole situation um with the McDonald's worker versus the manager. And show this on stage. I really appreciate y'all for coming in. I didn't know if anybody was gonna come in this late or not. I really didn't know if anybody was gonna come on the live. But I still was gonna do it anyway, even if nobody came in. But I'm just happy y'all came. But yeah, I really feel like if anybody Muhammad, she could have just took that to corporate if she was. Yes, yes, about Jennifer Harris kids. It really was. Cause they literally was into tears. They was literally into tears, detailing what happened to their mama and what they had to go through. I think that's a really sad situation. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. But I guess everything all right. But yes, you were having issues with them because of the storm. Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. Oh, y'all talking about the plants? Yes. Yes, six kids lost their mama. Yeah, that's very hard and very tragic and very heartbreaking. I'm so sorry if I'm too close to the camera. But yeah, that is very heartbreaking and tragic. Oh, her millions. Oh, okay, okay. How you doing, the Solomon Project? I don't know if I asked you how you doing, but how are you doing? Uh-huh. I'm back, y'all. So back what I was saying. That's a very sad situation. What? Okay, the Solomon Project says, is the bed hot or cold when it comes to the amount of work? Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, you asked me what I put in my okay. You asked me you asked me what I put in my piece of bacon that I made earlier, that I fried. I made BLTs tonight. Made bacon sandwiches tonight. Yeah, it was a piece of bacon. Oh my goodness. But yeah, what I was saying, I really feel like she should have just went to corporate because these kids have to have to basically grow up without their mother. 6 kids, and it's heartbreaking. I know it's gonna take time. It's definitely gonna take time for them. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm trying to. I feel like I'm wasting y'all's time. I really feel like I'm wasting y'all's time. The Solomon Project says, "Oh, okay, instead of putting meat in your mouth, that's cool." What is this supposed to be a good in a good way or bad way? I like bacon. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to catch up with these chats. Yes, and 5 of them was daughters. Yes, I think that's the most. I think that's the most. That's the most saddest thing of all. That they had to go through that. But it is said, that she is scheduled to have a trial or something on July the 23rd or something like that. But I think it is said that she is arraigned now, if I'm not mistaken. Um, wait a minute. I'm finna get to these chats, y'all. Um, show on stage. Yes, bacon is good. And hook it up homestead. Yes, bacon does make it better. Hook it up homesteads to also says, what about DeAndre? What about the read and record? You know what? That is a good idea. I don't know. Should I do a chapter real quick and then close this live out like this? Do y'all would y'all like me to do a read and record on this live of the book I received by Miss Professor, or should I do it on another video? I'm gonna let y'all decide. Should I read a chapter or should I wait to the next video? I'm gonna let y'all decide. That's if y'all got time. I don't want to waste y'all's time because I know y'all go to work and I know y'all have to get y'all rest whenever you would like. Okay, well, I really feel like you. I really feel like you got time. Okay, so what I do? I hope I. I hope I said enough details on the worker and the McDonald's person. You good to 11? Okay, it's 10:04 here. So what I probably do, what I probably do here, I probably just read a chapter. Okay, I probably just read a chapter of the book. I probably read the chapter, and I probably just do it like that. Okay, if y'all would like. Wait a minute. Okay, you mean grandma? You mean so? Tell about the scoop on the book that I'm gonna read. But so well, I guess I can read a chapter to y'all. Y'all want me to read a chapter to y'all? Cause I'd be happy to. The Solomon Project, you okay if I read a chapter of the book? Okay, I got y'all. I got y'all. I should have I should have told y'all ahead of time. I said it in my community slot. This is so unprofessional of me, I promise you. I'm not telling you no story. So what I'm about to do, I'm about to read a chapter because I haven't started reading yet myself, but I've been curious to read it. So y'all gonna bear with me. So let me go get the book. Let me go get this book. What I'm gonna do after I read the book, that probably will conclude the live for the night. Is that okay with y'all? Maybe I should start doing my lives, talking about a topic or something that's trending and basically close it out by reading to y'all. You know, I basically want to try new things too. So just give me 1 second. Let me go get this book. Thank y'all. Let me go get this book. Yeah, it's a bedtime story. I never got those read to me when I was little. So I thank y'all for coming by. But before I started reading the Solomon Project and whoever was in here, Hook It Up Homestead actually asked me in one of my comments, could I do like a read and record because that would be a good idea and that's a wonderful thing to do. And I thought about that and I said, you know what? I think that is a genuine idea. And for that, Hook It Up Homestead, I appreciate you so much. And thank you for giving me that idea. I had to think about it for a minute, so I really appreciate it. And I'm so happy you're happy to be here, Hook It Up Homestead. And I'm so happy that you're here, the Solomon Project. I'm so happy that everybody is here. I don't know who all's here, but I very appreciate it. So bear with me. I'm gonna skip the context. We finna go on and get over to this to the story. Cause we ain't got you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go on and get to the T he. But first, let me get you a closer of the book. Okay. Oh yes, indeed. I love being with my people too. I love being with y'all too. Y'all really make my day, especially on Saturday, on the Saturday Night Live on Mr. Burns' platform and channel. Because what y'all said to me, saying that the live ain't live without me, makes me feel like I'm a celebrity. It makes me feel like I touch so many people's lives, and my presence being there just does something to people. That makes me feel like I did something. Um, where did you get the book? Miss Professor sent it to me in my review box when I did the review video Friday. It was in here. It was in the review box with the soap and everything. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. My head look a mess. I know y'all can laugh at me. I know my hair nappy. Listen, I tried to comb it a little bit and let it breathe. I know I need a haircut and a shave. I get, oh, listen, but I'm not trying to stall. I'm not trying to stall, but I'm finna get started on this book. This comment right here that you just posted, I gotta talk about that. I noticed on one of your lives when I didn't show up, I can see it in your face. You basically tried to hide it that you was not sad. But I believe I can tell you was sad when when I didn't show up, and I tried my best to. But I commented and let you know ahead of time or when I watched the replay. But I promise you I will do my best to my ability to show up every chance I get, because that's a routine I got. And I have to do that because I enjoy being there. But I'm gonna go ahead and read the story to y'all. And you might see some pictures too that you probably y'all probably might not be able to handle. But it's the blood at the root, a racial cleansing in America. You are very welcome, Mr. Burns. You're very welcome, Mr. Burns. I'm finna start reading a little bit of the story. Y'all ready? I'm going to the first page. I'm going to page. Okay. Who's the author? The author is Patrick Phillips. Actually, you can see him back here. Patrick Phillips. If I could put up a picture and let y'all see, I would, but I don't have the premium version, so I just have the free version, and I have to upgrade to do that, and I don't have the money for that, so I can only do what I can do at this very moment. But let's go ahead. We're gonna start on page one. Next time I'll be prepared and ready. Cause I feel so bad I'm wasting y'all's time. This was unprofessional of me. But every time I get ready to go live, I end up having to do something. Okay, so here we go. Page one, the screen. On Thursday, September the 5th, 1912, Ellen Grice let out a terrifying scream. Some say this occurred at the house of her parents, Joseph and Luna Brooks. Others, that Grice was at her own home when her husband, a young farmer named John Grice, came in about midnight and found his wife and at a once sounded an alarm. A century later, there was no way to know exactly what led to her cry for help, who first heard it, or what transpired in the minutes after. But soon newspapers all over the South were telling readers what Ellen. I'm glad you feel at home. I'm glad you feel at home. I'm glad you feel at home. Um, what Ellen Grice said then, that she had been awakened by the presence of a, y'all, it might be some words up in here, the N words, not the one with the ER, but the grow. But do y'all mind if should I say that word, or should I cross it out, or should I put it in code? But can I show it to y'all? Can I show it to y'all what I'm talking about? I'm gonna let y'all take a look and see, do y'all see what I see? Then I'm gonna start back reading. Y'all see the word that I see? I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but do you see what I see? Okay, it doesn't bother you. Okay. Me either. Me either. I'm just trying to be respectful. I'm just trying to be respectful. I'm just trying to basically make everyone feel comfortable. Okay, I'm finna start back. Okay, I'm finna start back. Where was I at? Okay, I'm just making sure. Thank you. I'm finna start back where I was at. She said first, then said that she had been awakened by the presence of a Negro man in her bed. When they heard Grice's story of a black rapist forcing his way through an open window, the white man of Forest Country didn't waste time asking a lot of questions. By the next morning, the news had spread from the house to house, country store to country store, and all of White Forest was in an uproar. When the word reached the country seat of Cumming, a team of bloodhounds assembled and posse of white men were despised on the spot as they settled their horses and rode off in search of Grice's attacker. They were led by a man who would play a central role in the bloody race troubles to come, Sheriff William Reed. Now, I'm finna I'm finna exit on page two. I'm finna get on page two, but I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all an image on page three. I guess these are the characters that is being mentioned in the story right now. So here we go. We're on page 2. So Bill Reed turned 50 in 1912 and was in the middle of the second term as sheriff or forestiff. The job had brought a major improvement in his family's fortunes, and a portrait taken around the time of his election shows just how quickly Reed transformed himself into one of Clement's leading citizens. As they posed in the studios, Reed young sons wear double dress suits and they silk ties. His wife Martha is dressed in a fashionable saint, and a Reed himself with his dapper pen and plummet hair, his coat thrown open to reveal a gold watch chain. Looks like anything but a huge seed just in from the fields. But that's precisely what he did when he took office in 1906. Having grown up on his father's farm, where the Reeds raised corn, hogs, and struggled through the lean years, and everyone else working through tough Reed clay and Georgia free hills. Having quickly made a name himself in town, Reed wore his badge and revolver with a certain amount of swagger and was in a hurry to return to his family's home. And while in contemporary newspaper accounts make it clear that he was the face of the law, or Forrest Reed's name also appears on the obscure but no less significant documented from those days, a yellowed sheet of onion skin that a secondary fed into a pattern of her underwood in the 1920s. Across the top, she typed Knights of the Swing, Karen of the Ku Klux Klan. Below, among the names of 100 charter members, or Forrest Country Sheriff William Reed. Reeves' Sheriff's Revival in 1912 election had been his owner, Deputy Deputy Mitchell Gay Loomis, a leaner, younger man at 34. He was the grandson of Confederate war hero named Andrew Jackson Loomis, born in Victory's Creek, where Loomis grew up surrounded not only by white neighbors, but also by a number of well established black farmers, including Jasper Goldberg, Archibald Nichols, and Isaac Allen. By the summer of 1912, Loomis, too, had set the sights on the job of the country. He was undoubtedly looking forward to move in the worlds like Reed, but Lamont also needed the money. His wife Savannah had died of minutes in 1909, and he had no choice but to hire a live-in nanny to help raise his three young and suddenly motherless girls. Lily 11, Jewel 8, and Grace 3. A hopefulness declared his Kennedy in May of 1912, but lost to Reeds in July. And so it was the stout and the girls Bill Reed not tall quite. Now, finna go on page 4. I'm gonna show y'all the picture one more time. Hope y'all can see it. But let me know how I'm doing. I'm gonna put this on. Okay. Okay, we on page 4. Do I have something else to drink in here? No, I don't. Page 4. Gay Loomis, who sat in the sheriff office in the early hours of Friday, September the 6th, listening to the tale of Elaine's of hold on y'all. Thank you. Of Ellen's Grace outrage at the hands of the black rapist. By mid morning, Reed and his posse had ridden 8 miles south, coming and arrived at a cluster of tenant farms near Ellen's Grace house. When a group of young boys tore down the road, yelling that the sheriff is coming with a pack of bloodhounds, the Blackfield hands and sharecroppers of Big Creek knew enough to get out of sight. Loomis was second in the command, and so it fell to him and dismount and pound on those demanding that one of the family after another come out into the yard and speak within the sheriff. By sunrise on Saturday, September 7th, Reed and Lamas had arrested and jailed a teenager named Tony Howell, along with 4 other men held with accomplices: Isaiah Prickle, Joe Rogers, Faith Chester, and Johnny Bates. Howell was the nephew of two Cummings' most respected black residents, Morgan and Harriet Stickland, and staying on the farm they owned in Big Creek to provide some of the much needed during the fall harvest. What the other prisoners had in common was that they were unmarried, illiterate black men who happened to live near the scene of the Daystry assault. The Macon Telegraph hinted that the arbitrary nature of the arrest of the reporter wrote the Post had written out to be Creed and rounded up suspects. Tony Howard also stood out for having been raised not in Foresters but in neighboring Middleton County, much like Emmett Till in Money, Mississippi. 43 years later, this made him conspicuous as a stranger in the group of one of the few black faces Big Creek unknown to Reed and Lamas. The Atlanta Georgian would later admit to the evidence against Howard and Electric Comstenical, and in 1912, the very definitions of words like assault, rape, were kept deliberately divulged and used to describe among any incident involving black men and white women. Okay, so I'm through with page 4. Now I'm gonna start on page 5 and show y'all the images. Picture is Sheriff Bill Reed and Deputy Gay Loomis in 1912. The peoples that we are reading about, these are them. Who are those people? Okay, I'll tell you again. I'll tell you again, look it up homestead. I'll show you again. Um, the peoples on this picture here is Sheriff Bill Reed and Deputy Gay Lunas in 1912. The sheriff is yeah. I try to make sure I show y'all so y'all can see, so y'all can know. And I think actually you probably can look them up as well. Cause that's what I probably do. Were they the bad? You ask me, were they bad guys? Actually, I think they, I think they were from what I'm reading. Like this, the first of me reading this, so I'm thinking they is. They might have a change of heart, but as we get down the line, we might. You never know what we might hear. You never know what might twists that we might be getting. Oh, I should have had me some water. Okay, now we finna start on page 6. Big Creek. The news had electrifying effect on the crowd, and soon a group of whites gathered around the little brick jailhouse on Maple Street and demanded that the prisoners be brought out as more and more people arrived at the square. The town buzzed what one reporter called a dramatic spirit of speedy vintage. Picking his way through the crowd, and the Reverend Grant Smith must have looked like another like any other hired man and forthwith at 48. He was part of the country's poor black underclass, a group that, though they represented 10% of the total population, they were almost totally disfranchised by the Jim Crow law of Georgia. When emancipated slaves have been guaranteed the right to vote by the 15th Amendment in 1870, the Georgia legislature continued by adopting the nation's first collective party tax in 1877. Then established one of the first white primary systems in 1898. The result, I'm sorry, the result in the place where the majority of African Americans could not afford poll tax and where the Democratic primary winners were almost without fail elected to office when was the men like granted Smith like chance, representation in the local government, and originally no power to resist the will of the majority. Smith earned his living picking corn and cotton in the rolling turns fields of the country, and it's likely that on the morning of the estimate, he was helping bring the employees' harvest crops to market, but no black churchgoers. He was also well known as a preacher and as the son of the Reverend Silas Smith, one of the area's leading clergymen whose ornate signature had graced the bottom of colored marriage certificates during the restriction. Silas and Jonah Smith's oldest son, Grant, had been conceived in the Creek War year of 1863 and was part of the very last generation of African Americans born into slavery, though he was too young to remember. Grant Smith was the only one of nine siblings who began life as a legal property of a white man. Oh Lord, I tell you, the second chapter is on page 17, and I'm on page 7. So, do you mind if I read? How about this? I read page 7 and page 8, and when I do another video, I can start back on page 9 and we can finish chapter 1. Um, yes, it's a lot of reading. It really is. But do y'all mind if I read page 7 and stop at page 8, and I'll start back on page 9 when I do another episode. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for the background, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't know where these insects coming from. I really don't know. Thank you for understanding. Look it up, Homestead. Oh Lord. But I'm finna read these last 2 pages and then that'll be it. Okay. Okay. So let's get this. I think I wasted time. Okay. But having been born on the eve of the emancipation almost meant that the Smiths' earliest memories included going to one of the freedmen schools that sprang up all over Georgia. And after the Civil War, the Northern of societies and federal government succeeded in establishing a right to education for the Georgia former slaves. As a result, unlike his younger brothers, sisters, and who came of age after the end of the Congressional Resolution. And after the colored school system was dismantled in the North Georgia, Smith colored read and write. There was no outward sign of it, and as should his way past farmers, tradesmen, and merchants, hawking and wares of common square. But during the brief window of hope in the early 1870s, Grant Smith had become something white Georgians feared almost as much as a black rapist and outspoken educated black man. When he learned that Morgan Strickland's nephew, Tony, had been accused of rape, he heard white men and all around him whipping themselves into a lynch mob. At some point, Reverend Smith turned to someone in the crowd and said exactly what he thought. It was a shame that he and so much trouble was being caused on the account of sorry white women. The words were barely out of Smith's mouth before white men all around him froze mid sentence and stared at each other in disbelief. They tightened their fists around the buggy whips and ladder props with which they've driven into town, unable to reach the prisoners inside the jail and outraged by the alleged attack on Rice. Now they saw a target much closer to hand, the book smart, headstrong, uppity black preacher who had dared to question a white woman's worth. News of what he had spread according to the one witness and like flash. Infuriated mob, him, the first crack of letter, brought people's every libertation eager to push their way into the ring of men surrounding. Smith, who was now being whipped, kicked, and punched by every fist that could reach him, estimates put the price of the mob in at 300, and those of the outskirts could barely hear Smith grunts and cries over cheering and shouting when one group of sweat soaked men tried. They gave way others who moved into their turn. Witnesses said that the preacher was beaten nearly to death and that others started gathering scraps of wood for a bonfire on which they planned to burn Grant Smith alive. This is history that no one wants you to know about our ancestors. This is history that they want to keep hidden. They want us to know what they want us to know, but they don't want us to know the truth of what's really been going on. Before they could, Sheriff Reed and Deputy Lunas muscled their way through the crowd and somehow managed to wrest Smiths away. They carried him to the courthouse, where he was at the first locked inside a huge basement vault. Not so many to keep him in as to keep him potential niches out. After hearing Smith's moans, Reed finally agreed to move the prisoner upstairs, where a doctor was summoned to treat and dress his wounds. It was around this time, as a bloody, half naked body of the preacher was carried past his office door, and as a crowd of hundreds of bellowed for Smiths to be handed over, that Mayor Charlie Hart Harris realized that he had helped if he wanted to save Grant Smith and the five black men in becoming jail from a lynch party that was growing larger for more than determined by the minute Harris knew he would need more than a skinny deputy like Gay Dumas and a glad hammering good old boy sheriff like Bill Reed rising from his chair. Cummings Mayor type tapped little brass leveler of a telephone on his desk and told the operator to a commander all outside lines for an urgent call to the governor, Joseph Mackey Brown in Atlanta, as Harris pressed the receiver to his ears and waited. Sheriff Reed stood nearby scanning the places in the mob and finding among them, no doubt, a great many men who would soon join him in the Sarony caravan, the Cooks Klux Klan. Okay, y'all, so I'm gonna stop right there on page 8 and I will start on page 9. Hopefully, the next time when I do some more reading, but This is the book that I'm reading, and the author is Patrick Phillips. And yeah, I'm gonna start back on page 9 when I start back reading. Would y'all like me to do another video sometime with me reading a little bit more? Because I really enjoy reading to y'all. I'm sorry this live was a little longer than I thought it was gonna be. But you know, I'm just happy that I was able to do it. But thank you. Thank you, Hook It Up Homestead. So that's gonna be my live for today, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. Please join me next Tuesday on Talk It Out Tuesday. I will be doing another live Tuesday. For those of you that follow me on TikTok, I will be going live on TikTok Thursday 10 to 12, and Saturday I will be going live on TikTok 8 to 10, or probably 8 to 9. And on Tuesday, I will be doing live on here on TikTok via StreamYard. Um, 8 to 9, 8 to 10, or something like that. But I really want to thank y'all for joining me tonight. I'm so sorry that I was unprofessional, that I was not on time. I had a lot going on. And I'm sorry about my background. If you saw any insects crawling around, I'm so sorry about that. Um, I really want to thank y'all for coming in, and thank you for joining the live. So I really want to thank y'all for coming in, and I think that would be the end of this episode. But be sure to join me next Tuesday on Talk It Out Tuesday here on StreamYard, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Thank you so much, Hook It Up Homestead. You have a good night as well, and I will see you later as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, y'all, I hope y'all have a wonderful day and a wonderful night. Till next time, I love y'all. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in, the Solomon Project. Thank you for coming in, Hook It Up Homestead. Thank you for coming in, Vegan Kings. And thank each and every one of y'all for coming in who's came in. I really want to say I love y'all, and I thank y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. I love y'all. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.